Hello, I'm Dalton DeLand. I'm a columnist for the Berkshire Eagle, and this is Eagle Reels, where we take you beyond the news. Our very special guest today, actor, comedian, Patton Oswalt. Welcome, Patton.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Thank you. They'll be doing good talking to you.
Oh,
Now,
nice.
your show at the Mahaiwe, March 22, was that was a reschedule from last, I think, November 1. And you, like a lot of people I know, were probably manning phone banks. Unfortunately, we appear to have awakened into a different world we don't have the time to get into this morning. But I'm going to ask you, you're not known for, political humor, but the Berkshires tend to be blue. Can the audience expect any comment on the state of affairs we are all in today?
The audience can expect at this point. I am so overwhelmed by what we're facing that I think for my own mental health, I'm doing an hour of the dumbest stuff I can possibly think of. I'm in my MC and cabaret mode right now. I'm just absolute escapism. I will deal with the enormity of whatever all of this is later, but it's just too soon to figure out what this is. I'm actually stunned right now. I'm stunned at what's going on, and so no, I won't have anything to say. Sorry, I just won't.
All right. The worst thing that I can do talking to a comedian is do the jokes. But I have to say, when you said that, and you're going to do an hour of the stupidest things, I thought I'd say to you, well, maybe you should be president. Okay.
Well, yeah, exactly. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, benign stupidity is kind of I think that's even beyond him right now. Like I think there's an actual kind of like grinding down malignant. I don't know what. I don't even know if it's evil right now.
Yeah.
Indifference. I don't know what it is. I don't
I,
know what it is.
right.
I'm still trying to deal with it. So
Yeah.
I'm giving you a 1 hour escape hatch at this time.
Well, okay. Now, because I was going to bring something up that you share with someone else I had the privilege of working with, okay? Right after 9/11, when the enemy was outside, not inside, we won't go there. But right after that, we had a Mark Twain Prize at the Kennedy Center that I supervised, and everybody, I mean, everybody told me it's too early. It's too soon. You can't do comedy. You can't do comedy. Well, Robin Williams came out on the stage at the Kennedy Center and knocked it out of the park. And if you go back and read it, people say the wall was broken, comedy's back. Well, I say, that's exactly in the hardest times. But here's why I brought him up, because I think he told me that he most revered in improv, which was his great strength, Jonathan Winters.
Well,
Now,
yeah.
I sometimes, and I mean this is as the greatest compliment, sometimes when I see you, when I hear you, I see a little bit of Jonathan Winters. Is that valid? Is that someone you
Uh,
also owe any debt to?
Listen, it's beyond flattering. I don't know if I reach those heights. He is a massive influence on me in terms of um, trying to get inside the heads of the characters that he's doing. And he really, really finds, even before like David Lynch, he really found the weirdness in the ordinary. Sometimes the things that seem the most ordinary are actually have the most weirdness in them. And he was a guy from Ohio who had some serious darkness in him. And it wasn't until he started kind of embracing it and winking at it and kind of defiantly mocking it that he really kind of blew up in terms of what he did. So I mean, again, I don't want to compare myself with Jonathan Winters because that guy is he's in his own category as far as I'm concerned, as far as comedians are concerned. But maybe the one thing I have in common with him and Robin Williams is when things are really, really dark. In my view, sometimes the most defiant gesture is to go, I'm going to still be cracking jokes and making people laugh in the face of what should be a five alarm fire right now. Like we're still going to do that. There's something very, without getting too philosophical, it's like the life force swelling up in the face of the death force. And right now, we really are facing kind of a death cult. So, any signs or activity of life is a quiet revolution, I think.
Well, thank you. Look, I'm with you completely. But here's the other thing. Among your work, you are also unbelievably talented at voiceover. And I have to say, to me, that's the ultimate acting. With nothing else to help you, you have to make us believe a character off, an animated character, whatever, bring them to life. As part of your repertoire, I actually, I don't know if I can think of anyone else who's done more of this work and more of this work that has really mattered to people. I could, name so many of them, BoJack, anything else you want. But how do you feel about that?
Well, voice acting, you have to be just using your voice is a physical act. There is effort and ease and anger and frustration that you can tell just from hearing someone's voice. That it's as much of an instrument. It's as much of a muscle as any appendage on your body. Again, I really like doing things. I like doing work. I like being in creative efforts. So I'm the kind that just says yes to everything because why not? Why not do it? Um, and I really so maybe that's why I've done such a wide variety of things is I just have this endless curiosity. There's again, much like Jonathan Winters, there are plenty of voiceover people, Phil Lamar and Tom Kenny and people like that do incredible ranges of voices and characters that you know um, I look up to and really aspire to. John
Oh, thank you.
DiMaggio and people like that. Kerry Walgren. There's just people out there that really have made it an
Yeah.
art. But again, we're as good as any of us are. Always remember, Mel Blanc pretty much did all the Looney Tunes by himself. He did Yosemite Sam and Tweety Bird. That was that guy's range. So always keep that in mind.
Well, I think Mel Blanc, you bring that's a bit like Thomas Jefferson. I don't know if you recall, they say that his most brilliant dinner time conversations was when he dined alone.
I'm sure it was. I mean, the way he was able to um, just again, like he would do a voice and you would almost feel like the animators just like clapping, like, oh, I know exactly what that guy looks like. I know exactly how to render this. Like Yosemite Sam's voice, you picture a Yosemite Sam type, even before you see what the drawing looks like. You see this angry, tiny ball of energy. It's just hilarious.
Well, I see you a lot of ways. I see a penguin. I see all sorts of stuff.
Oh, thanks, man. Thank you.
But a very good looking one.
Well, I'll
Yeah.
take that too.
Thank you. All right, but I brought up so stand up, acting of various sorts, chicken and egg. For you, growing up or in your own sort of preference set, you love it all or
Well, I love it all, but stand up was the thing that brought me to the dance. That was the thing that got me in, and I will always be loyal to that in the end. I love acting, love being in movies and TV shows, but I'm not someone that does stand up so I can get out of stand up and just do acting. I act and write and do voiceover so I can increase my profile and do more stand up. It'll always be so I can do more stand up.
great, great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific. Now, let me turn it in a little different direction, okay? So you made a wonderful twist on, a famous expression that we've all used in comedy, the tragedy plus time,
Oh,
equals
yeah.
comedy. You twisted that, but in a very serious way. Look, many comedians that I've known, they're reaching into their own trauma, their own sorrow, their own, often depression. You have faced terrible, terrible tragedy in your life. Comedy, I hope is a medicine for you. Can you talk a little bit about that? Is it a lifeline for you? And therefore, you see, I hope you share that with audiences.
Well, I mean, comedy was a medicine for me before I got into comedy when I was dealing with stuff in my life, before I became a comedian and depression and frustration and heartbreak. Comedy was always that lifeline. So then to be able to actually do it and see it reach other people and then face even more unimaginable tragedy later in my life and figure out a way to still do comedy in the face of all that, and maybe show people that, yeah, we all get put through it, and there is a way out. And maybe me going up in front of people and just kind of burying myself, I hope that maybe that's symbolic of you going to your friends or family and just really letting them know what is going on and showing who you are, so that people will always surprise you and step up and help you.
Beautiful. Thank you. I think that's true, Patton. Now, you grew up in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Familiarity with the Berkshires?
I never really went up to the Northeast that much when I was growing up, but I'm very familiar with the whole Atlantic coast and that climate, and the muggy summers and the icy winters. Um, but I also just love going to the Northeast because it's just such craggy, eldritch, spooky countryside. There's something about that. A big H.P. Lovecraft fan, big Stephen King fan. So getting to do stuff like that and being in that area. I mean, being in different areas of not just the United States, but of the world affects your mood and changes how you look at things. I mean, there's a certain mood and persona and mindset in New England that is not you don't find in other parts of the country, and it's fascinating to kind of subject yourself to
You're making me think. I mean, we did have the Salem witch trials.
it.
You're making me think we should make the film The Berkshire Witch Project.
Look, man, there's a reason that so much gothic and horror takes place up in New England and up in the Northeast. There is a certain weird mood up there, man. I'm telling you, it's in the woods, it's in the forest. You have a you have a form of dusk in New England that you don't get anywhere else in America. There is something really primal and ancient about the dusk up there that I've always remembered.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Thank you.
Yeah.
We're gonna make sure you don't there's a lot of wonderful old cemeteries, in that area in the Berkshire.
Dude, I know. There's a lot of wonderful old everything up there. There's a lot of like stuff. There's still houses with witch windows, for God's sake. So there's a lot of that going on.
Okay. Well, we're gonna keep an eye on you when you're up here.
Great.
Now, look, one more in your multi-talented sphere. This one surprised me. Jimmy Kimmel recently. Look, I'm going to say it. You have an interesting and good and effective singing voice. Okay. Now,
God.
Timothy Chalamet, he spent a
Hmm.
year practicing. So he could do Dylan pretty good. How about
Yeah.
you? If we cast you in your acting mode as a musician, who's it going to be?
God, who would I be as a musician? I mean, if we're going off of looks, maybe Udo Dirkschneider from Accept, or the lead singer of Bowling for Soup. But that guy's got a voice. So I mean, I don't know too many. Maybe Phil Collins. I don't know. I don't know, but like, uh, I would have to do a year of intense vocal lessons to pull that off. A year, easily.
Yeah, but I look forward to it. I can
Oh,
imagine.
thank you.
Oh, okay. To close it out and let you finish your coffee.
Thank you.
Anything else upcoming? Everybody better make this show because it's going to be great. But other acting, other voice, what else should your fans be looking for in the near
Oh
future
God. I
that
mean,
you're allowed to talk about?
yeah, I know that. I just realized there's like two things I can't talk about right
Yeah,
now.
don't let me get in trouble. Your agent, they're powerful agents.
They're very powerful.
I
Oh
gotta
my
watch
God,
myself.
they'll have you disappeared, my friend.
Oh yeah, no, no, no.
Um,
I know, I know, I know. I'm
um,
really worried. They're almost like
uh,
the government.
God, what do I have coming up? I mean, season 2 of The Sandman will be on
Great.
Netflix later this year. Um, oh my God. There are three things I'm doing that I literally can't talk about right now. And I'm not trying to be
Okay.
um,
Well, maybe
weird
on
and
March
Hollywood. I know
22,
that
Patton.
I know that I can't talk about them.
All right, tell us from the stage. I'm going to give people, if they needed it, one more reason to show up. Okay, March 22.
Oh man, March 22nd. Well, I will have just come off of two other shows nearby. I will be traveling. I'll be jet lagged. I'll be nice and loopy, and that loopiness and sleeplessness is when I am at my funniest.
I think
Guarantee it.
I know that. I know you were traveling yesterday. We talked, and
Oh my God.
thank you for doing this today.
Thanks, man. Thank you.
Patton Oswalt, you are the greatest. We look forward to
Oh,
seeing your show, and thanks for doing this.
my
Viewers,
pleasure.
if you're already subscribers to the Berkshire Eagle, thank you. If you're not yet, please consider becoming one. In addition to comedy, we do need the local news. You see? He's telling you. Okay? Thank you. I'm Dalton Deland. I'll see you next time on Eagle Reels and in the pages of the Berkshire Eagle. Thanks, Patton.